app on my phone. And let me switch back to my camera. And I will apologize as usual for the moire on this patterned jacket. Depending on your bandwidth, you're going to see some moire. But I'm going to be doing a lot of screen sharing anyway in this show. And this is just so comfortable, this cashmere coat. I just like to wear it. So let me go real quick here to the stream. Actually, I'm going to do it on my iPad and share screen and keep an eye on the comments at the same time. Give me a second here to get in here. And we are going to talk about Bitcoin as a way to raise money for content creators. We'll talk about some watches too for you guys that want to talk about watches. Of course we will. Let's see here. Bring this up on my iPad and see if anybody's even in the house yet. Okay. I'm not seeing anybody in here yet, but I will leave this. How can I pause that? And that's not pausing. Okay. And let's see if anything comes in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to suggest that Bitcoiners should support content creators that want to support the concept of using Bitcoin to support content creators. And so I'm going to switch to a website. Give me a second here. Bring it up here. And give you an example of, and this is obviously on a budget. Okay, so got it. Because we're using an about.me. I'll switch to here. This is, if you go to cowgirlslive.com, this is what page it's pointed to. It's an about.me page. So the URL is cowgirlslive.com. And Sarah Butler is a competitive barrel racer. She races horses, you know, around the barrels. They time them and so forth. And she's doing a weekly show here on this network on Mid-Atlantic TV called Cowgirls Live. And she's doing it Monday nights at 10 p.m. And we want to see if we can get the Bitcoin community helping to support her specific show and then spread the word about using Bitcoin donations to support content creators. And we're going to use her show as an example. And as she gets donations, I'm going to match any donations she gets with cash so that she will not have to cash in the Bitcoin, so that she can hold the Bitcoin until at least 2024. That's going to be the arrangement we're going to have. She's going to hold until at least 2024, and that'll be 2 more halvings. So this is an experiment that we're going to do to see if the Bitcoin community is willing to step up and support a content creator like Sarah. Let's see if they're willing to do that, because I think it'd be a really good thing if we can get that sort of thing going on. And I didn't put it in the description, I forgot, but I'll put her actual Bitcoin address in the YouTube description also. But we've got the barcode and the address on, if you go to cowgirlslive.com, go to this about.me page. I'll switch back to it. If I scroll up here a little bit, you can see the Bitcoin address is right there. And I'll actually put it in the chat also for this broadcast, if I can get over to the broadcast here. Give me a second. Get over to it on this computer. And Trevor's in the house. Trevor's in the house showing some support. And tomorrow we do have a big watch show. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. We're going to have Steve in the house with a bunch of really cool Omegas. And with some Grand Seikos and some other watches too. So let me see here. I'm trying to find this stream so I can put this in the comments. Let's see here. I will find it. Don't we love live TV? says 8 people are watching, folks. Why aren't any of you making any comments? Okay, 9 watching now. Okay, I'm going to put her address. Some Grand Seikos and some other watches too. So let me see here. Sarah's I'm trying to find this address stream so I can put this in the comments. Her Bitcoin address. Let's see here. Okay, so I put it in the chat also for those of you that want to do that. Oh, I'm still on that screen. I will find it. Isn't that something? Don't we love live TV? Okay, so those 8 people are watching, folks. Why aren't any of you making any comments? Let me stop that video from playing because you'll probably hear that feedback through the feedback loop. So there's that. And let me just go full screen back with this so that I can periodically share this. And again, the show is Cowgirls Live, and it's hosted by Sarah Butler every Monday at 10 p.m. on this network. And she's going to use the money that she's going to raise through Bitcoin donations to upgrade her streaming equipment, to get a better camera, to eventually get a switcher, and just have a more sophisticated setup. She's already got some pretty good audio. She's got a couple of mics, and she's got a Shure MVI mixer to hook up to her computer. But it would be better if she had a really good camera and a setup similar to what I have with a switcher and so forth. And let me see if I can go. I wonder if I can do this while I'm... Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to see if I can go into my, I forgot to put my lights on. Let's see here. Living room lights. There we go. Okay. I like to have them on in the background. Just a funny thing. Okay, so now, what else? Hello, how are you, Craig? Captain? Are any of you all Bitcoiners that are in the chat? Are there any Bitcoiners in the chat? And if you are, let me know if you do support any content with Bitcoin donations. And of course, hey, send a couple bucks to Sarah. I did a test. I used the blockchain. I guess it's blockchain.info. Now it's maybe .com. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I used the app on my iPhone, which I have some Bitcoin in there. Not a lot, but I have some in there. And most of my Bitcoin is stored using the Trezor, but I always keep some in there to be able to send to people and so forth. And I sent her 2 different times. I sent her $7 as a test. I wanted to make sure that this scan worked and all that. And it was 7 cents. 7 cents to send the Bitcoin, and it was pretty daggone quick. Now, it was going from the wallet to wallet. We both have the same wallet, so maybe they've got Lightning set up or something. You know, who knows what they've got set up behind the scenes. But it's pretty cool that it was that inexpensive and that quick. Let me go to the Gold Stunner. There's a time check using the Gold Stunner. And you can see there we've been online for 9 minutes, actually 8 minutes, 30 seconds, because I started 30 seconds late. And, of course, there's going to be a delay, so don't bother to compare that watch to your timepieces because there's a delay. So let's see here. Bitcoin doing shit right now. Was going to invest until Archie Luxury started investing in it. Funny, next day Bitcoin crashed. It's actually been doing pretty good recently, Captain. If you'd have bought back when it was like 3,100, you'd be up pretty good right now. On Bitcoin, I don't think it's a good idea to try to time the market and try to buy low and sell high because you just can't outguess the market. So I recommend people just buy and hold. Long-term thinking, folks, as the Bitcoin Meister would say, deferred gratification, deferred gratification. Buy your Bitcoin and hold it until at least 2024, folks, at least 2024. Don't buy high and sell low. I don't get these people. You hear about these people that bought Bitcoin last December. They bought Bitcoin at like $19,000 or something, or $15,000 or some real high number, right? They bought Bitcoin. And now they're selling now. What in the hell are they doing? What are they thinking? Why would you buy high and sell low? I think they got that backwards. So, Captain, are you saying you don't own any Bitcoin at all? You have 0 Bitcoin? Is that what you're saying? Anybody else? Anybody else at all have any comments about this situation? And anybody have any comments about this gold stunner right there? Look at that gold stunner, that 18-karat gold stunner, just keeping time, just marching on 1 second at a time with a nice solid click there. No gesticulating back and forth. And by the way, depending on the camera angle, like right now you see there, it's pointing right at the hash marks or very close to the hash marks. As it goes around, you'll see it varies. That's the camera angle. So when it gets right down to about 30 seconds, it's right there. It's pretty much spot on, the hash marks, right around 30 seconds, a little bit. And then when it gets further up, it gets off a little bit, off kilter. That's the camera angle. In real life, it's straight on. So, Captain, you have no Bitcoin. Whoa. If 10 years from now, Bitcoin is like, you know, $1 million each, you'll regret that. Here's the thing about Bitcoin. I think everybody first should get out of debt. You should be out of debt. Means your house, everything should be paid off. You should have some money set aside. You should have some investments, mutual funds, real estate, you know, some nice investments. And then you should hedge by putting some money in Bitcoin. Because if it takes off, you'll be protected that way. I wouldn't say you should put all your money in Bitcoin. Some people do, and some people have done real well with that over the years. But I think you should have a position in it. I think having 0 Bitcoin is probably not going to be a good move. We'll see. Time will tell the tale. Time will tell the tale. Are you going to replace the gold stunner for Day-Date 40 or an all-gold paddock? That's a good question. I don't think I will get rid of this particular watch because I really like it. It's very comfortable. And with some of my French cuff shirts and all, they're kind of snug. And so this works really good in some instances as a dress watch. Even more so than like a Day-Date 40 is a little bit bulky. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get a Day-Date 40 or a 36 for my next watch. And I'm waiting to see what they do if they come out with a Day-Date 36 with the sleeves, with the ceramic sleeves, and with the updated movement. There's a rumor they're going to do that this year. That might be an interesting watch to look at. I bought it $17K. Joe Public bought it $17K. Well, Joe, hold. Just hold. Don't worry about it. You haven't lost any money until you sell. You haven't lost money yet. If you hold it and it goes up to $50,000, you'll be in good stead. But you shouldn't have bought it 17. I don't know who gave you that advice. People were asking me at the time if they should buy at those high numbers, and I said, no, I wouldn't pay more than $5,000 for Bitcoin, and ideally, I wouldn't want to pay more than $1,000. And I still, right now, I'm not going to buy unless it goes down to $1,250. That's my buy number. That's my back the truck up and buy some more Bitcoin is $1,250. Wouldn't the accuracy be an issue too? Yeah, that would be. It's hard to go back. It's hard to go from a watch that's spot on accurate like this diver and the gold stunner. It's hard to go back. Like just today, I was rushing to get the broadcast started and all. And, you know, I'm looking at the watch, and I know I can trust that this thing is spot on. So I knew I was 30 seconds late starting the broadcast, right? If I was wearing something else that's a minute or two here and there, I mean, you know, you're second guessing, you're double checking, and it's not a good situation. Buy high, sell low. That's what helps make the wealthy wealthier and the poor poorer. Exactly. By the way, the big show is tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Hopefully we'll have a bigger turnout than we are for this impromptu show. Steve is coming, bringing a lot of expensive watches, and it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Trying to think what else. Well, let's do another time. Let's do another gold stunner time check. Never hurts to do another gold stunner time check. So nobody in the chat has any Bitcoin. Is that what you guys are telling me? Are you all, every single one of you, Bitcoin poor? Is that what you're saying to me? Because I don't know how you're going to afford some gold stunners later on if you don't have some Bitcoin. So there's that. You know, the dollar might crash in value completely. It might crater. And then where will you be if all you've got is dollars? Hi, everyone. Scott S.J. Scott, do you have Bitcoin? Let me know in the chat if you've got Bitcoin. So far, we haven't found anybody in the chat that has any Bitcoin at all. Let me put... well, let me cut one more time to the computer just so we know what we're talking about here. The subject of this show is the concept of supporting content creators with Bitcoin donations instead of using like Patreon or PayPal or some of these third parties that can be censored and shut down and so on and so forth. Do you think it would be a good idea for us to promote the concept of supporting content creators with Bitcoin donations? Because those cannot be censored, cannot be shut down, and they'll receive them right away, and these entities don't take a big cut. Like when you do a super chat, you know, YouTube takes a cut of that and so on, and all these other guys, they all take cuts. And I sent Bitcoin to Sarah, I did 2 tests, $7 each, and it was like 6 cents each to send them. And it went pretty much right away. And so Clay says he has Bitcoin. Clay, would you be willing to send a couple bucks, $3, $4, $7 to Sarah? That would be a nice thing to do to show a little bit of support. And I will put the... let me put it in the chat again. Sarah's Bitcoin address. And you can also use the QR code that's on cowgirlslive.com. Okay, so there you go. I got it there. And of course, that's the about.me page that cowgirlslive.com is pointed to. And I believe we also have it over on her Facebook, but we're getting it out there. What exactly would he be supporting? Okay, so you would be supporting the whole concept. What we're trying to do with this video is we're promoting the concept of supporting content creators with Bitcoin as opposed to them having to use things like Patreon, PayPal, Super Chats. The advantage to using Bitcoin is it's not going to be shut down. If they say something controversial or something, you know, they can get their accounts shut down on these other services. Plus, they got to pay fees, you know, middleman fees, all that kind of stuff. If we can promote the concept of supporting content creators with Bitcoin, I think that'll be a good thing for Bitcoin, and for all of us that own Bitcoin, it'll help everybody if it's adopted more widely and used for things like this. So as far as sending a donation specifically to Sarah, you'll be helping demonstrate this whole concept. Plus, she's a nice young lady that's working hard to create a brand, Cowgirls Live, where she talks about the lifestyle and they do barrel racing, and she talks about rodeos and all kinds of cool stuff. And I think she's going to do a good job with it. You know, she's only 18 years old, right? She's a young girl, but she's into it. She's working hard. And I think we should support youngsters that want to build a brand and want to do something. I saw the Cowgirls live show last night. Sarah and her friend did not seem shy at all at speaking. Yeah, well, they're doing good. They're getting better each week. And she's going to have various guests. And she's also going to do other videos. Guess no one has hustle left. Handouts are okay. No, it's not about handouts. It's not about handouts. It's about a way to support content creators that are out there working their butts off to create content, and have a way for us to say, hey, keep at it. Keep doing that, you know? And here's some money to help you out. I don't mind paying for good content. I do super chats all the time when I'm watching a video and they've got the super chat on. And I've super chatted money to people often because I know it's work to create this content. Now, I don't want donations like that. I don't need any donations. Fortunately for me, I'm financially secure, so I don't need it. But for somebody starting out like Sarah, absolutely, I think it's the right thing to do to show support for somebody like that. My gosh, if you can send her $7, I mean, that's a cup of coffee, for gosh sakes. How cheap are you people if you can't send her $7, you know? And she's going to beam when she sees that come through on her phone that she got a donation. It's going to make her day, and it's going to inspire her to keep working hard and put out some more shows. I don't think that's a handout. I wouldn't call that a handout at all. And what exactly are we supporting? Go look at her channel. I mean, that's kind of a stupid question, GB10014. I mean, think about things before you type things in a chat. And I had some other stupid comments on some of my videos earlier today. And I'll call people out when they just put in stupid comments. Because here's the thing. When you put stupid comments out there on social media, you might be looking for a job sometime, and somebody might research you and might look at the kind of stuff you put out there. And they see a bunch of stupid comments by you, and they might not want to hire you. So I don't believe in invisible, immaterial coins such as Bitcoin. Hence, I own real gold coins. Kitty, but the problem is it's very hard to move gold around. It's not very portable, and it's not very divisible. And the other problem with gold is it is kind of easy to fake. There's a lot of fake gold coins out there. A lot of people get scammed by that sort of thing. And so you got to be very careful. So the benefit of Bitcoin is it's the hardest money that has ever been created by man. And I'll put a link in the video description to some information I have on my website about it. But it's even, you could make the argument, it's even harder money than gold. Up until now, gold has been pretty hard money, right? Because it is hard to duplicate. You can fake it, right? But gold is gold. If it's real gold, it's real gold, right? And it is what it is. And it is somewhat limited, but not really, because they keep discovering more deposits, right? And more and inexpensive ways to get it out of the ground. So it's limited, but not as limited as Bitcoin. See, Bitcoin will have 21 million total units. And of those, probably about 16 million or so will actually be in circulation because a bunch of them have been irretrievably lost. Okay, people lost their access to them because they're stupid. It is a limited resource, and it cannot be duplicated. It cannot be counterfeited. The system is very robust. You just can't hack it. You can't create extra Bitcoin, if you will. So it's from that standpoint, it's very hard money, very, very hard money. And let's see what else you put in the comment here. And he talks about invisible. Da, da, da. Well, see, here's the thing, and that's what people that are against Bitcoin, the argument they make is that it's like, just like a digital thing on the internet, and anybody can make it, and it's no big deal. It is a big deal. It's got a huge network of computers behind it, and which are running. Math is what it's all about. It's all about math. And somebody said, well, we don't need regulation because we've got math. We're regulated by math, which is the strongest thing you can have regulating it, right? It is what it is. You can't change it. You can't monkey around with it, unlike government fiat currency that they monkey around with all the time. So it is real. It's got a real network behind it. It's got real programmers that are the best in the world at what they do behind it. So if you make comments that imply that it's not like a real thing, it doesn't have something of substance behind it, you just haven't done your research yet. And that's another stupid comment. Did I walk into a shit show or what? I hope not. Craig, do you still wear your iWatch? Not very often. I just got one 44 mil and I like it. Yeah, it's a great watch, but I just don't wear mine very often. And I will call out your absurd comments no matter how much you put lipstick on a pig. It's a handout. Funny that you only support very young female wranglers. How do you know who I support? I mean, what another stupid comment. You have no idea the people that I support. I mean, I'll tell you what. That's the kind of comment that gets people blocked and banned on social media. And that's the kind of comment that turns people off to social media. When people make comments about things they know nothing about, it's a handout. It's a handout supporting a content creator? That's a handout? No. A handout is if I give you a monthly check. If I'm the government and I give you a monthly check for sitting at home in your mom's basement like you probably get, that's what we call a handout. You're getting money for nothing. If you give money to a content creator that's working to create content, I wouldn't say that's a handout. Let me know in the chat if anybody else chime in if you think that I'm all wet on that. What series your Apple Watch? This is the first one, Series 1. Silver is not portable. Gold is very portable. Fake bars, easy. Coins from reputable dealers. No, gold's not very portable. No way. And also, it's pretty easy to confiscate. If you're trying to sneak gold across the border of some country or something, it's pretty easy for them to confiscate that gold. And it's heavy. No, it's not. Again, a stupid comment, Kitty. Think about your comments before you put really stupid comments down. Fake bars, easy. I don't know what you mean by fake bars, easy. Easy to make or easy to detect? Not so easy sometimes. There's some good ones out there that are not so easy to detect. Craig, you should block this troll. Gold has the backing of thousands of years of trust. Bitcoin is a novelty. Bitcoin's been around 10 years. So, yeah, it's not been around thousands of years. But, Kitty, time will tell if all these comments you're making are really stupid. I think they probably are, but time will tell the tale on it. Craig is prickly today. Moths get to the Paul Stewart. I don't have any Paul Stewart stuff. Money is the accounting of transferable incomplete transactions. Interesting. I'd never heard that definition. No, but it's good to get some of these comments like this down in a historical situation, because then you can go back and you can see what people were thinking at the time and what kind of stupid comments they were making, and it's kind of interesting to look at these things. Like, for example, you can go back to a video that I did a couple years ago about Bitcoin, saying that, I'd be surprised if it got to $5,000, but before 2020. And then it did. It got higher than 5,000, but then, of course, it went back down, and now it's at about 4,000. I was still looking for a target of $5,000 in 2020, next year. right? So we got ahead of ourselves. We got way ahead of ourselves. That exuberance that happened last fall and into January, that was just nutcases. That was just people just piling on, fear of missing out, and just, we got way ahead of ourselves. But that happens with Bitcoin. It does that. It's done that several times over the last 10 years. JP Morgan said, gold is money and nothing else. Still true today. I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, gold is gold. It has not had a good return over the years. If you would have invested in the S&P 500, for example, over the last 10 years, you did a lot better than gold. Gold, I have some gold in my portfolio, and I have some platinum, and I have some silver. It's good to have some of those things, but the historic returns have not been that good. You would have done better in real estate. You'd have done better in, like I say, the S&P 500. So it depends on what your goals are. But as far as a unit of account, gold is just not practical. It's too difficult to work with. It's too difficult to, to cut down, to divide. Okay, I guess that's a term I'm looking for. Whereas Bitcoin can be down to 8 digits or 10 digits. Anyway, I forget how far. You can divide it way down to 1 Satoshi, right? So it's almost infinitely divisible down into smaller units, whereas gold is very, very difficult to do that with. Investing in weed is great right now. I've heard there's been a lot of problems with some of the pot stocks, if you will. Some of them have done well, and then some of them not so well. So I just personally, I usually don't buy single stocks. I did buy some Apple stock the other day when it was beat up so bad, and that's turned out to be a good move, at least so far. It's up quite a bit since I bought it. I think I mentioned that on the show, actually, that I was picking up some Apple stock. I rarely do that. I rarely buy individual stocks, and I'll probably sell it pretty soon and take that money and plow it back into a mutual fund. It's in my Roth IRA, so I can do that without any having to pay any capital gains on it. So let's see. I guess that's it. And we got one message held for reviews. I guess somebody got nasty. Let's see what it is. Investing in weed is great right now. Well, I mean, again, you take your chances. CraigShipp.com. What is money? Here's another one held for review. Everyone who disagrees with you is stupid. Kitty, only if, let me just show this one. Only if they're wrong are they stupid. Just buy more money. It's always good to earn more money. Absolutely. Usually, Kitty, here's the thing. If you go back in the historical record, most of the people that have disagreed with me, yes, it's turned out that they were stupid. Now, will that be true about what we're talking about right now? We'll know in about 5 or 6 years. 2024 is my target date for Bitcoin, 2024. So write that down. We'll revisit this discussion in 2024, and we'll see what the returns have been. If Bitcoin has gone to zero and shut down, if it's gone and it's worth nothing, then I will be totally wrong. If Bitcoin is worth, let's say, $20,000 a coin in 2024, then I will have been right and you will have been wrong. So we'll know in 2024. I disagree. Real estate hasn't risen in 100 years. Only commercial real estate makes profit and losses. My real estate has done great for me from a standpoint of the return on investment. So I don't know what you're investing in and what kind of rents you're getting and so on, what kind of incomes you're generating. But maybe you've got to get, some more efficient real estate, some real estate that gives you some returns. If you're not getting at least 15%, upwards to 20% return on your real estate investments, then per year, then you should rethink it, because it's not worth going through all the hassle if you're not getting that kind of return. Might as well just put it in the S&P 500, get 10%. Will you sell all your Bitcoins in 2024? Probably not. I might not sell any. If I don't have to, and I probably won't have to, I'll probably just continue to hold. In the year 2025, if humans are still alive, there you go. 25, yeah. Man, can you imagine what it would be worth then? Wrong. Gold did better than the S&P. Gold was 275 in 2000 and is 1,300 today. There is a reason central banks buy gold. Kitty, Kitty, you don't even know how to do math, for God's sakes. You have not gotten a 10% return on average on gold since the year 2000. Okay? Do your math again and make sure you do compound interest. Boy. Public schools, man. Public schools. BTC's under 4K right now. Will it go down? Oh, absolutely. I think it will go down. Absolutely. I've got a target on Bitcoin sometime this year. I'm actually hoping it's going to hit $1,250 because I want to buy more at $1,250. I'm predicting that will be the bottom. I'm calling the bottom at $1,250. We'll see what happens. I have money on the sidelines waiting to buy at that number. Kitty doesn't get it. No, Kitty's just a little bit slow. Central banks, LOL. There you go. The thing about Bitcoin is have a strong hand. Get your Bitcoin and hold it. Have a strong hand. Don't be tempted to sell just because it goes up one day, right? You sell and then you miss the timing of it and all that, and then you can't get back in, and then it's going through the roof, and then you're out of luck, right? Timing it is not easy. Let's switch back. And this is a young lady, and we're not talking about handouts like some troll put in the comments, somebody living in their mom's basement who gets handouts from the government. We're not talking about government handouts. We're not talking about charity. We're talking about supporting content creators with Bitcoin donations, as opposed to like a Patreon account that's popular, where people set up Patreon accounts and you support them through their Patreon with a monthly donation, or a super chat, or a PayPal donation, or other methods of raising money, Kickstarter or whatever. Bitcoin is cleaner. Bitcoin is a very low fee to send them Bitcoin. They get it instantly. And it's something that is a deflationary currency. Over time, there'll be less and less of it for the amount of demand. And so it's deflationary as opposed to inflationary. And so there's a lot of benefits, I think, to supporting content creators with Bitcoin donations. So I'm just calling out to the Bitcoin community and saying, here's an opportunity to demonstrate that. Show a little support for Sarah's show, Cowgirls Live, cowgirlslive.com, by giving her a little donation. I'm not talking about sending her, a Bitcoin worth $4,000. I'm talking about sending her $7 worth of Bitcoin, 0.001 Bitcoin, for gosh sakes. Send her 0.001 Bitcoin. What's wrong with that? Not 4.3K first or dump today. I'm hesitant to sell. I don't trade Bitcoin, Jay Constant. I hold. I buy and hold. It's very hard to time the market. You get burned doing that. If you're a trader, then you do what you do. But I buy and hold. But yeah, I mean, if you want to try to time the market, then yeah, get out somewhere between here and $5,000, and then wait for the next pullback, and then buy in again. But what happens if it doesn't pull back? And then you miss the train, right? Can't get back in. It's not guaranteed there's going to be a pullback. Patreon is easy to set up and use, kind of the standard YouTuber donation option. Does Sarah accept altcoins? No, right now she's only set up for Bitcoin. So not altcoins at this point. Yeah, Patreon is the way everybody goes, but Patreon can also censor you. They can shut down your account if they don't agree with what you say or whatever. It's not a free and open platform. It's not decentralized. So I think that content creators, if we can get it to the point, and I'm not saying we're going to do this today. I'm just saying that we start talking about it and start doing it. And Sarah's kind of like getting out in front on this and being one of the first to promote this. Adam Meister's been talking about it a little bit on his show. If we get some folks behind this, and if some heavy hitters start getting behind it, and we get the word out there, this could take off. And the beauty of Bitcoin is nobody can screw with your donations. No government agency can step in and take your money because of whatever, because you violated some rule or whatever, right? As long as you control your private keys, your Bitcoin is safe. And that's good. And I can donate to whoever I want. I can send Bitcoins to whoever I want around the world, and nobody can interfere and mess around with that. And I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. Bitcoin now only relies on the hardcore Bitcoin believers, just like Trump and his 34%. Well, there's less than 34%. It's a very small minority of us. There aren't that many Bitcoiners. It's a very small group of people. And you're correct. It is a small group of people, but I think it's growing. I think it's growing all the time. I think it might have a future. We'll see. Time will tell. True enough, there's people bailing on Patreon. Yeah, it's happening. When BTC went under 5.9K, I sold and bought back around 4K. It saved me a lot of money. Yeah, but see, the problem is when you're in and out like that, there are people years ago that did the same thing you're doing, that bought Bitcoin at $30 and sold it at $230 and said, man, I did so good. And then it went down, and then they bought it again, and then they sold it again. And then in one of those times, they missed the upswing. They missed the timing, and then they had to end up buying back in at a higher number. And then so they canceled out all their gains. And so it gets difficult to time all of this stuff. If you can always time it, like you just said, if you can do that consistently, that's called being a trader. Most traders get burned, though. Let's see here. What ignorant comment? S&P 500 was 1425 in 2000 and is 2573 today. Kitty, do the math on an investment with a 10% return. It basically doubles every 7 years. A little over 10% return a year. Your investment doubles every 7 years. So if you're not doubling every 7 years, then you're not doing as good as the S&P 500. Simple as that. Do the math on it, guy. What specific rules would a family-friendly show violate? Maybe you're talking about politics. Maybe you're talking about Trump and the wall or something, and somebody doesn't like that, right? And so they call it hate speech or whatever, and they turn off your channel. If you've got a third party controlling the situation, that third party can do whatever they want to do. You're playing in their sandbox, right? They can shut you down if they want to. Sam Harris left Patreon. Okay, I'm not sure who that is, but I hear you. All right, so anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about with this show. And let's check one more time on the Gold Stunner. We've gone about 45 minutes, and that's an awesome looking watch. I'll tell you what, that is a freaking, and the case on it is absolutely gorgeous. If you want to see the video on that, just go to my channel and put in Grand Seiko 18K, and there's a bunch of videos on that puppy, and it just keeps marching along, just dead accurate. So there's that. And so tomorrow, Steve is going to be in the house, and we're going to be talking about a bunch of Omegas he's bringing in the house, some of the new models, and he's going to bring some exciting Grand Seikos and some other watches. And we're going to do it all live tomorrow at 4 o'clock on this channel. One more look at Sarah and the donations that you can do for her. It's Cowgirls Live, cowgirlslive.com. She's got the QR code right there, and she's got in the description, she's also got the address. Let me scroll down here a little. She's got the address there also for her Bitcoin address. So you can help support her in her show that she's doing. And yes, it is family-friendly content. And you can watch that show every Monday night at 10 p.m. And she's going to be doing some special shows, too, from the rodeos and the barrel races and all that kind of stuff also. So, hey, if you're a Bitcoiner out there, send her a donation, for gosh sake. I don't care if it's $5, you know, come on. Send her 0.001 Bitcoin. Okay, let's see here. Do you see the fluctuation of Bitcoin against the dollar making tax accounting difficult as an income? As income, investments are a different matter. I'm not sure what you're asking, but if you're trading in Bitcoin and you're making gains, you got to claim that as any other capital gain or income. If it's short term, right, you got to claim it as regular income. If it's a long term, you got to claim it as a capital gain. So you traders out there, you better be keeping records of all that, because the IRS is going to come calling. I don't know if that's what you're asking about. 4K is resistance now, doesn't look good. Who knows, Jay Constant? Who knows? It might go up to 4,800, and that might be the peak before it pulls back. I do think we're going to see another major pullback. I don't think we're out of the woods yet, if that's what you're asking. But how high will it go before the pullback? Who knows? You probably know in a week or so. Give it some time. Just got over 4,000, what, a day or two ago? Does Omega make watches like 40 millimeter or smaller? I think they do. We'll find out tomorrow. You don't know who Sam Harris is? I know the name, but no, I don't really know him. I don't pay attention to all this pop culture stuff, if that's what you're talking about. Do you know Jordan Peterson? I've heard the name. Yeah, I've heard the name, but I don't know him. Hey, Craig, late to the show, getting a hiss while you're talking. When you pause, there's no hiss. Oh, you know what? It's probably the fan from the... Let me put my finger over it. Okay, I'm covering up the fan from the mixer. See if the hiss is gone now. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is the hiss gone now? Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Now the fan is back. See, when I'm not talking, the gate shuts down the mic completely, right? And so you're not going to hear anything. When I'm talking, it's open, and so you can probably hear that fan noise. So that's probably what it is. And this switcher really should be further away. I shouldn't be doing the switching. Really, you're supposed to have a producer or somebody doing the switching. But the problem is I'm doing the switching, so the mic is pretty close to it. So I think that's probably the problem. No change. Huh. Headphones and see if I can hear it. How bad is the hiss? Is it worse than normal? Normal shows that I do? In other words, is it different? Get these damn headphones. Audio is always such a pain. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't hear the hiss coming through the head. You know, when I'm monitoring the mixer here, I'm not really hearing it, but, you know, these aren't super like headphones or anything. I don't know. How bad is the hiss? I mean, just barely there, or is it just really bad? In which case, I don't know what would be causing it. It sounds almost like a snare sound. And Scott J says, what hiss? Well, Las Vegas might have some really good speakers, right? Where he can like hear everything. got a buddy of mine, Dan McDermott, like that. He's got really good speakers, like studio monitor, like speakers. I just pointed the mic a little bit further away. I don't know if that's going to help, but tomorrow we're probably going to have lav mics on, and that's going to pick up even more noise because, you know, I might set up another mic for him and not use lavs. I haven't decided yet because there's going to be two of us here, so we're going to have to do something for his audio. Gone now, Durr says. You're 5x5, no audio problems at all. Gone now. Yes, sound is messed up for me as well. I guess some of you all have bad connections. I don't know. Audio is good to me, but I'm on a laptop, so the speakers are not much of anything. Sounds fine here. Well, it is what it is. It's obviously not perfect, but it is what it is. And, of course, with Kitty, we can't take anything Kitty says without a grain of salt because Kitty is absolutely clueless. Sounds fine here. Zippo. Craig, just a little info on the Omega. I now have the 42 mil Seamaster 300M with the 8800 movement. And since I set the watch last Thursday morning, it's running 4 seconds fast in 5.5 days. Yeah, and I'm pleased to hear that it's running fast because that's easy for you to correct. You just unscrew, hack it for a few seconds, and put it back in. I just hate it when a watch is running slow. That's one of the reasons why I got rid of my SBDC 007, the Shogun, is it was actually running slow, and that's a pain to reset because I always like my minute hand to be in sync with the second hand, and you know you got to go through that whole process again. Whereas if it's just a little fast and you can hack it for a few seconds, usually that'll solve it without moving that minute hand, you know, without messing that up. Nope, didn't help. Kitty. Kitty's funny. You know, Kitty, I picture Kitty in the basement, in his mom's basement. There's a little bit mildew down there, a little bit of humidity, and he's a mess. And so he's down there in the basement, and it's a mess down there. So I can imagine that anything could be going on down there. Now Kitty says better. Yeah, oh, yeah. So it is what it is. I'm going to try to monitor tomorrow. I could actually monitor off the Video Pro. Let me see. I don't know about that. How I could actually monitor. I can monitor at the switch, you know, at the roll-in switcher. I can easily monitor there. I know you will have to listen back later at higher volume. Just played another channel real quick and no hiss. Yeah. Sound is very good, Craig. Well, Ray, you might have real good speakers or something. You sure you're not hearing that fan that I covered up? Still happening, Kitty says. Seiko, unregulated movements are a real luck of the draw with accuracy. Seiko unregulated movements are a real luck of the draw with accuracy. The 7S26 movements are the biggest gamble, while the 6R15 movements, the chance of actually better. Just trying to help. I know you care about your quality. Yeah, Ray, I hear you. And this is not an ideal setup for audio quality. I mean, there's a few things here that are kind of like not ideal. First of all, like I say, we got this noisy switcher right here, literally 16 inches from the mic, right? It puts out a fair amount of noise. Then we got the mic going into my Mix Pre 6 recorder, which is really designed to record audio. It's not really, you shouldn't be using it as a mixer like I'm using it. And then I'm feeding from that into the mic input on the Roland, which is not the best way to get audio into the Roland. And then from the Roland, it's going into the Video Pro. So the whole audio setup here is not ideal. It's what it is. If I was doing production work and not live like this, if I was shooting a video or something, I would be recording the audio on the Mix Pre 6, which it would be excellent audio. It's got great preamps and so on. And so, using good mics with that, you're going to get really good results with the audio. But that's not what I'm doing here now, and so it's not an ideal setup. Wonder if you're dealing with a high noise floor. Well, there's noise here in the ambient noise in the room. Like I said, the fan from this. But as far as the preamps, they're dead silent. I mean, they're very good preamps. So they're not introducing noise. But there can be noise here in the room, and I think there is. I'm sitting here hearing it. So I'm going to cover this one more time with my finger, the fan outlet. And that just cut down the noise significantly coming out of the Roland. Of course, it'll overheat if I kept my fingers on there, right? That's the fan, the outlet for the fan. So I covered it right now, and so now that noise is suppressed quite a bit. So is it any different now, or is it the same exact situation now? Now I'm taking my fingers off. Now my fingers are off, and I can hear the fan noise, and it's back, and see if that made any difference. Are you wearing a short sleeve shirt? No, I just rolled up the sleeves on this shirt because I'm wearing the steel sport watch, which does not go under cuffs nicely. So that's what I do. I just roll up the sleeve. The sleeve is about right here somewhere. It's in there. It's just rolled up. And I don't do this often, but yeah, I do it occasionally. Okay, I hear it now. The people weren't lying. I turned the volume all the way up on my iPad, and the sound does sound like the rattle on the bottom of a snare drum when it's vibrating. The issue with multi-part audio systems is that while you can build them any way you like and change individual components, sound issues are harder to pinpoint, and you need to know what you're doing. If I listen close, I hear it. Put tape over the hole. Finger over the fan didn't change it. Yeah, see, so that's not what it is. I'm going to listen back. I'm going to listen back to the show and see how bad it is. I mean, if it's really bad, I'm going to have to try to figure something out. But I'm kind of surprised because this is the first time I've had a lot of complaints on the audio, and I haven't really changed anything. Maybe let me unplug these headphones. I just unplugged the headphones from the Roland mixer because that's something that is different today because I had that plugged in. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see if that made any difference. I wonder if we're dealing with either a loose wire connection in the chain or you can have a ground loop issue. I can unplug the mixer and plug it back in again. I have had that problem before where that particular plug was acting up. Clive has better audio and doesn't even... Well, if Clive's audio is better than mine, then I really am in trouble. All right, let me know, is it any better now that I just unplugged the headphone jack? And if that didn't fix it, I'm going to unplug and plug back in the mixer into the Roland and see if it's that connection. Not super bad, no difference, still there. Okay. All right, let me unplug this. I don't like the way that plug goes in. And again, it's not the ideal way to bring audio into this. It's got RCAs on the back that you can bring it in with those, but the problem is the mixer I have doesn't have a line level. It only has mic level. So I've got to go into the mic level. I should get a different mixer with a line level to go into the Roland. Is what I should do. No. And somebody says worse, and then somebody says better. Same person says worse and then better. Let him speak first. Oh, boy. Craig, I believe that you're having a positive impact on the watch flipper community. They're starting to listen the voice of reason about the Steel Sport watches. I doubt it's me impacting the market. I think the market will impact itself at some point. I wonder if it may be an issue with the microphone or the condenser. Craig, are you wearing shorts? I'm wearing a swimsuit. The issue doesn't happen until the microphone picks up sound. Well, when I'm not talking, the mic gate kicks in, which will kill all the audio. Now I can turn that off. Let me go into the audio, and let's find the mic gate. Where the heck is it? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. In my one level, that should be 0. I just did the wrong thing here. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's find the mic gate and turn that off. This is in the audio settings on the Roland. Where is it? Mic delay, mic frequency. There's all kinds of settings. Mic compressor is on. Okay, so let me turn the compressor off. Oops, off. Okay, the mic compressor is off now. Testing 1, 2, 3. The mic compressor is off. A swimsuit, shirt and tie coat, style trendsetter. I like it. Well, there you go. You can use an earbud as a mic. Jeez. Did that make any difference with the mic compressor turned off? Just that's all I want to know. And then I'll make another change here with the mic gate. I'm going to go ahead and do the mic gate also. I'm going to turn the mic gate off also. Off. Okay. Audio. Okay, so the mic gate is now off. The mic gate is now off, so when I stop talking, you'll still hear stuff. Because there's no mic gate on anymore. And I turned off the compressor. Good now. Ha-ha. Kitty says good now. We can't trust Kitty, though. That's the problem. The problem is Kitty has said so many ridiculous things, we don't know if they're telling the truth now. That's the problem. Vegas says no. Whatever no means. Speedo, tie, and jacket. Exactly. There we go. Don't you know that most newscasters, they're not wearing pants because you can't see the pants? So why would they bother to wear pants? Why would you do it? No, it's fixed. Kitty says it's fixed. That's funny. That is funny, funny, funny stuff. I hope that Archie's coming Brocus Pocus Watch Purge is going to be the needle that pops the entire Rolex bubble. It would be fitting to have him be the one who brings the whole party crashing down. Can hear a hiss when you... Las Vegas says, can hear a hiss when you stop talking now. Yeah, but overall, is it any better, or is it, did that not help at all? Because I can turn the gate back on. At least we kill the hiss when I'm not talking. Bitcoin is the best. Again, any Bitcoiners, hey, make a donation. Cowgirlslive.com. Cowgirlslive.com. go and make a donation to Sarah, help her with her show, and help show people that content creators can be supported with Bitcoin. So what do you think, folks? Is that any better at all? Any better at all? Can hear a hiss when you stop talking. Okay, we already read that. Any comments at all about whether or not that helped? Or should I go back and just turn those back on? Can hear a hiss when you stop talking now. Yeah, there's going to be probably that fan. I wouldn't doubt you can hear that. Bitcoin's best. Your sound is fine. Terry N says, hey, Craig, can we discuss some wet shaving? I had a great shave with my timeless razor. I'm really loving the timeless razors. And this is just a mark on my face that's permanent from a sun damage from down in Florida. But I've gotten so I can shave very quickly with it. I've got the bronze one and the stainless steel one, both timeless razors, and I keep one in the shower. I shave in the shower. I love to shave in the shower. And no cuts at all. The last week or so, it's been smooth sailing, and I love both of them. So they're doing the good job. The hiss doesn't echo with the gate off. So what should I do? Should I leave it the way it's set right now, or should I put it back to the other settings? Oh my God, Greg, it's okay. Read a last commentary after you try something. It's okay. Last commentary after you try something, not the ones from 10 minutes ago. I don't know what you're saying. Okay, I can hear a constant noise floor, but no more fuzziness when you speak. So is it better now? Should I leave the settings the way they are now, or should I go back? I can't tell the difference, but I'm on a laptop and probably does not have the range of sound that nice speakers would pick up. Have you ever tried Harry's Shave Club? Are you talking about Harry's razors? Yeah, that's what I used before I got the double edge. And I don't use the Harry's ones anymore. I'm using the double edge now all the time. Audio much better now, Ray says. I agree, Brian. So leave it the way it is now, Ray? I guess I'll leave it the way it is now. Okay, so let me cut back to me. Oh, let me get this. Oh, look at that. A little transition there. Getting fancy, folks. Getting fancy. Oh, let me do a side-by-side. Go to B. There we go. And that way we can have Sarah on side-by-side with me. There you go. And do the Bitcoin donations, folks. Leave it the way it is. Sound is fine now, Terry N says. Well, okay. That's good to know. We made an improvement here. Are you guys getting your questions ready for tomorrow's watch show at 4 p.m. USA Eastern Time? Are you guys getting ready? Play the video after the stream is over and you'll see I was not... Well, Kitty, that's the problem with the boy that cries wolf, right? You got to be honest all the time. I ordered my Wishui Butterfly Safety Razor Badger brush. I can't wait to jump into wet shaving. I also preferred a sampler pack of different razors. So Brian, why are you getting into the wet shaving? I think we should say double edge shaving, because some of the wet shaving people are talking about, straight razors. That is scary. I might try that next, though. I didn't think I'd be able to do the double edge thing, and the first time I shaved, I did cut myself pretty good. But I got used to it real quick. After the third shave, I was good to go. I didn't think I'd pick it up that quick. And old dog and new tricks and all that kind of thing. But I really enjoy it. I really do. And I only do 2 passes, and sometimes only 1 pass. All these other guys are doing 3 passes and against the grain and all this stuff. I don't go against the grain either. I just do 2 passes. Nice video. So Brian, why did you get into it? Why did you decide to do it? What was the trigger for you? I forget what the trigger was for me. I forget how I even learned about it. Maybe I think one of you all told me about it. Somebody in one of the shows, I think, told me about it. And the timeless razors, man, they are fantastic. Fantastic. Let me pull up the timeless razors here. On here. Let's go back to me, because it's all about me. Let me pull up the timeless razor. I really like these timeless razors, man. And I like the stainless one better than because it has a little bit longer handle, but I use them both. I definitely use them both. Okay, so timeless razors. Okay, let's go here. That's my stainless puppy. Everyone needs some Bitcoin. Most, wait. In the side-by-side view in the video part, YouTube program, or something special you can accomplish with the equipment you have. It's just that the roll-in switcher allows me to do that. Take two of the feeds and put them side by side. I'm getting into double-edged shaving because I can't shave with cartridge razors without causing my face to break out in acne, and I get terrible razor rash. Well, it helps with that. I think it will definitely help with that, but everybody's face is different, but I think it will help with that. I'll do my best to be here at 4. My mother-in-law is coming, but I don't know when. Okay. Everyone needs some Bitcoin. Most countries around the world are not or will be. Yeah, well, they'll be unstable is what I guess you're saying. Absolutely. I think it's a good hedge. I think if nothing else, it's a good thing to have off on the side just in case. Yes, I'm ready to finish my 3-watch rotation with a Grand Seiko spring drive, so yes, I will have questions. Okay. Is correct. Is white noise continuous now since you turned off gates? Yeah. I had the best results with a cheap razor and Persona blades. I'm getting terrible ingrown hair problems with cartridge razors, and while the upfront cost of wet shaving scares me a little, just to be better from. I hope it works out. Yeah, I hope it does. Okay, let me go through some of these photos. I'm sitting here stuck on this one photo, and let's see. I'll go full screen on this. Full screen on this, and I mean that's what intrigued me was these really cool double-edged razors. I mean, by Timeless, they're just like works of art. And somebody said, you know, you actually enjoy shaving with them. You actually look forward to shaving. And they're right. I actually look forward. I shave twice a day now. I never used to do that. You know, it's just, they're just super cool. And there's a bag from Timeless Razor. There's a closer shot. That's the stainless steel one, of course. And you can get the base to put them in. And there's a close-up. There's the bottom of the base. And these are made in the USA. And again, I like to support people that are working hard and making things in these United States of America. So, and there's the bronze one next to it. You notice how much shorter the handle is. I can use them both. I mean, they both work. I just, if I had the choice today, I would buy the stainless one, mainly because of the longer handle. There's a bigger gap for the blade too, but that doesn't seem to matter. I get a good shave with both. And it depends on how often you shave too. If you shave every day, it's not as big a deal which one you get. But if you skip a few days, I think you want the larger gap of the stainless one. So there's that. Okay. Let's see here. Craig, what will you say is a good cash discount on a spring drive? Terry N. Don't Don't tell them you heard me say it, but I'd go for 20% on a steel watch. I think you'd be in good stead there. Craig, what kind of deal would Steve give on the same diver that you're wearing? Again, I'd go for 20%, but please don't tell him I said that. He's going to be pissed. But tell him you can buy one from somebody else or whatever, use whatever jargon you want, but try to get 20%. It's a beautiful freaking watch, dude. And some troll gets on there. It says, it's nothing like the Rolex. The Rolex is the Rolex for a reason. It's not even in the same ballpark, and so on and so forth. And I replied back. I said, you're right. It's not the same ballpark. It's a better watch. He said, well, that clasp is ugly. I said, I thought the clasp was ugly too when I first got it. I didn't like it. I thought, they could do something more elegant than that. But the function of it is so good that I now love it. At first, I was going to try to get a different clasp and switch it out. Get one without the extension that lays flatter and more trim. But I've gotten so used to the function of this where I can just pull this up and extend it very easily. See how that's extended? And then I can just ratchet it back in a couple times and get it exactly where I want it, just real quick and easy. And it's just so easy to take on and off. I mean, you just flip this up, the double releases here. It's just so easy for everything. Everything works so well and that's the thing. That's the difference between collecting watches and actually using and wearing them all the time. If you're buying it as a collector, it doesn't matter how well everything works. It doesn't matter how comfortable it is on the wrist. It doesn't even matter what it looks like on the wrist, because you're not going to have it on your wrist. You're just buying it to collect it. It's in a box, and you set it down and you look at it or whatever. So none of these things matter. But if you wear it all the time, if it's a tool that you use, then all these little usability things come into play. And so, man, this thing is fantastic. Feather blades are sharp but not real smooth. I'm using the Vikings blades, and I like them. I'm not going to even try the feathers. I have no reason to. I'm very pleased with the Vikings blades, and I'm going to keep with them. I was going to try feather, but I have no need to. Let's see here. A sampler pack I ordered from Tri-Blade allows me to choose all sorts of different single blades so I can figure out which one works. You let me know, Brian, what you figure out on that. Feather blades are sharp but not real smooth. I think 30% discount on a GS, or don't touch it. If you can get 30%, you're doing good. Absolutely, if you can get 30%. Get what you can get, my gosh. I doubt you're going to get the 30, though. If you can, hey, more power to you. It's nothing like the Tudor. Yeah, skip the Tudors. Do a little research and compare gold versus S&P 500 year 2000, and you'll learn Kitty was correct. Yeah, right. No freaking way, Kitty. The returns on gold have been terrible. Remember, you got to do compounding. You got to compound the interest. Wet shaving, playing records, tube swapping on amplifiers, and mechanical watches are similar. They are past technology, but there is a visual aesthetic quality to them. The thing about the wet shaving that is interesting to me is, and I haven't tried like a real cheap double-edged razor, like the $20 ones. I haven't tried that, right? But with these really solid ones from Timeless Razor, I think that makes a difference, to have that kind of solid heft in your hand and kind of just let the razor do all the work. You don't have to push on it, right? It just kind of glides along because it's got nice weight to it. It's very solid. and the tolerances are very exact. When you put that blade in, it fits just right, and it's got just the right gap all the way along there. Everything's very precise. And I think a lot of that lends to a better shave. And somebody said, well, you know, when you have these multi-blade cartridges, like 4 blades in them, every time you swipe down, you've got 4 blades going across your skin. And that's causing more irritation. Whereas with the double edge, you got 1 blade. So even if you go down twice, that's only 2 blade passes. Whereas if you got 4 blades, you go down twice, that's 8 blade passes. So I don't know how much of that really plays into it. But I am finding that my skin feels better after a shave by doing the double edge shaving. And I don't know how much the soap plays into it either. And the brush and all the little things, all the details here. I don't know how much all those, but I will tell you, I've tried some of the foamy, the gel, you know, in the can stuff when I'm in the shower. Sometimes I'll use that, and it works fine too with the double edge razor. And then doesn't really irritate me. So a lot of things going on there, but I'm pleased with it. Don't wet shave while swapping tubes. There you go. Problem with double edge razors is lack of maneuverability around the nose area, bulky for that. Mine clears pretty good. Mine, I can get right up to the under the nose pretty well. Don't wet shave while swap. Okay, we already read that. I ordered 2 types of the shark blades. Okay, so you got several of them coming in. I have a Rockwell 6C, very solid razor, but so far the cheapie is working best. Soap is a large factor. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I've seen the 6C, and that was something that I was actually considering before I got the timeless razors. But I'm tickled pink with my 2 timeless razors. I'm done. That's my 2 razor setup. I keep one on at my sink if I want to shave during the day, and I keep the stainless steel one in the shower. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And I pretty much always shave when I shower. Like if I'm showering and all getting ready for a meeting or something, I just go ahead and shave right in the shower because I've got one of those mirrors that doesn't fog up, that the water runs through, right? And so I shave right in there, and it's just very convenient, very easy. And then sometimes if I have to shave like during the day or something, and I'm not going to be taking a shower, but like I'm getting ready to do a show or something, then I want to shave, then I'll shave at the sink, and that's when I use the bronze one. So I tried an Icon razor, which is a machine stainless, tore my neck up. May have been my skill level. There's a little learning curve. It took me 3 shaves, really, to get to the point where I wasn't cutting myself. The first shave, I cut myself a couple times pretty decently. The second shave, I think I got 1 or 2 small, very small cuts. And then the third shave, cut-free, and I've been pretty much cut-free since. I mean, a little tiny thing here and there, but I would get that with a Harry's razor. But yeah, I am blown away. I didn't think I would keep doing it. I thought it'd be a fad and something that I'd do for a little while, and then the razors would just be sitting somewhere to look at, right? But no, couldn't be further from the truth. I'm using the heck out of them. They are gorgeous razors. Gorgeous razors. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up here. Let's see. Dirk comes up with a line from what's his name's that movie, Silence of the Lambs or whatever. Jeez, we got some sickos in here. All right, well, certainly the issue with shaving with tons of little blades is that more of the epidermal layers of skin are getting cut off, leaving your skin more vulnerable to irritation. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know the science behind all of it. But it is a nice bonus that I think I'm going to end up saving money. The blades are certainly significantly less expensive. Now, I do change them more often. I can get by on a Harry's. I can shave for upwards to 2 weeks with the same cartridge. These blades and the double edges, I'm changing them about every 4 days. Some people said with the Vikings you can go a week, but I probably could, but I'm changing them about every 4 days. But I think I'm still going to be ahead financially, even at 4 days, as compared to the Harrys, even at 2 weeks. So the Harrys are about $2 each, and I can get the Vikings for 20 cents easily. So so I'm still ahead of the game, I'll put it that way. And the soap and all that stuff is not that expensive. It's cheaper. You save money on the soap as opposed to the canned stuff also. I'll order a timeless and try it out. I'd get the stainless one. Yeah, it's fantastic. That's a permanent razor. I mean, that sucker, you're going to use that indefinitely. All right, we're going to wrap. Thanks, everybody, for all the tips on the audio. Hopefully that's a little bit better now. And we're going to have a show tomorrow. And we're going to see what we shall see is what we will see. Some of the wet shavers have drawers full of... Oh, my gosh, it's incredible, the stuff they have. Talk about a sickness. It's worse. It's worse than the watch people. I mean... And some of them are both. Some of them are nutcases on the wet stuff and the watches. Some of them have huge watch collections and huge wet shave collections. It's a real problem. All right, everybody. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. And please, folks, donate. Donate to Cowgirls Live, cowgirlslive.com. The link is in the description. Send her a little donation. If you're a Bitcoiner, send her $5. What the heck is $5? Come on, people. Thanks again for watching.